Read you guys a couple of quotes here.
Yes, this is all just insanity.
Okay. I'm going to start with Dodgers president of baseball operations, Andrew Friedman. All of these are regarding Shohei Otani.
All right, so he's the president of baseball. He's going to hype up his team. Get that.
He seems like he's on a mission pitching-wise. Whenever we see him on a mission, good things happen. Here's Will Smith. There's no ceiling with him. He can go out there and win a Cy Young this year. I have no doubt about it. Here's Dalton Rushing. He wants a Cy Young. He wants a Cy Young, and you can tell with the way he's carrying himself here recently. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. I think this year we're going to expect a different Shohei on the mound. These are not like, hey, listen, anything is possible. Sure, could he, but he's got a workload as a designated hitter. He's got all of these. These are guys that see him every day, that have been teammates of his for, a varying degrees of length. And they're all like, I'd never seen this before. He is on a mission. And when I asked Oral this question, a couple of Saturdays ago when I was out at Legends Attic, he kind of said, listen, it's going to be incredibly difficult. But he also was like, look, with this guy, nothing is off the table. And everybody is saying, yeah, he probably can go out there and do this. And if he puts his mind to it, I genuinely believe he can do the impossible.
If there's any player in all of baseball and all of sports, really, like if there's somebody that would say, I'm going to go do this, and you're like, okay, yep, he's just going to go do it, it's him. He's one of the only ones that you say that for. And we talked about it a couple of weeks in here. We said, what's his third act? What's he going to do? What does he have to do to get that third act? Mm-hmm. That's the next big thing that he does. And we all agreed it was a Cy Young. We didn't think it was going to happen, but it was a Cy Young. And now the fact that he's saying, I want this, and players on his team are saying, oh, he wants it. Dalton Rushing saying he wants the Cy Young, he wants the Cy Young, repeating it twice, it means that this dude is fully going for something that, and honestly, I think he's going to do it. And is it weird that I think he's actually going to do it?
No, and here's why.
It's impossible.
Okay, don't do the impossible thing.
It's impossible.
Come on. Why?
For him to be like Otani,
why?
And be a Cy Young pitcher?
Didn't we say he had to be a pitcher of record and hit per cycle, and he got close?
Are you being hyperbolic?
I got out of that one.
Well,
I got out
do you
of
want
that
out
one.
of this
Do
one
you
too?
really think it's impossible?
Yeah, because the other 2 or 3 pitchers don't have to hit.
No, you're right.
They don't have half the pressure he's got.
It's harder for him.
Yeah, they're going once every 5 days. Mm-hmm. He's up every day. That's
right
physically impossible to be that good.
Is it physically impossible for normal people, or is it physically impossible for Shohei Otani?
It's physically impossible for some normal people. So it should be physically impossible for him. I mean, I hope he gets it. It would be fun to talk about.
Sure.
I don't care if he does, as long as the team's winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, that if he – let me back up a little bit. I want to agree with you that it's impossible just because of the workload. But he's shown that he can handle the workload. And let's go back. When he came over from Japan to the United States and he wanted to be a two-way player, everybody's like, dude, you can't do that. Like, nobody can do that. Mm-hmm. And the Angels, I don't say this very often, but I'm going to give the Angels a ton of credit for saying, let's give it a shot.
Right.
Let's see what happens. He could do it. And he could thrive at both.
Okay, so the only reason I say what I say is, and I'll bring this to Greg, because I said like NBA MVP or NFL MVP. Sometimes we fudge the numbers if the guy has the story of the year.
Yep.
So the stats, maybe he's a little bit below. Like the best player doesn't always win MVP in the NBA, right? You can't do that with the Cy Young. The numbers are the numbers. You're going to have to outpitch.
But he can do the numbers. That's the thing.
Who's he going to have to outpitch?
Paul Skeens,
Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
A guy on his team.
He's going to have to.
Scuba's on the other side.
Yeah, that's AL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hit.
No, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not impossible to say, is Shohei Otani have the stuff, have the durability, have the want, have the athleticism to be the best pitcher in baseball? The answer is yes.
Of course.
And it's really not far-fetched. Now, where it becomes more far-fetched is putting the offense in there. And maybe the offense backs up a little bit to what? He only hits 40 home runs and leads the team and maybe the league?
Would you be okay with that? If you lost a little bit of him at the plate?
Yes, because you have other guys that can always pick him up. But if you said that you're saying that's impossible, would you think that pitching in an NLCS game and going 6+ innings, striking out 10, and giving up no runs, and also hitting 3 home runs,
including one out of the stadium,
would you think that's impossible?
Yes.
For For an entire season?
But it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Just even one game, it feels impossible.
Not for him, but for an entire season.
But he doesn't have to do that every single game. He just has to do it.
And just for frame of reference, the Travis Hunter thing.
Yeah.
There's no way you can do that at this level.
Yeah.
So the two-way player, it was no.
Otani's better at what he does than what Travis Hunter is at what he does.
But I'm just, that's the physical part. Is what I mean.
I hear you.
It's impossible.
I hear
There's
you.
no way you can do that.
Every time we've said that's not going to happen, he does it. Can he win the MVP? Yep. Can he win it back-to-back? Yep.
My
Can
thought
he win
is,
4
and
and
you've
5
answered
years?
it.
Yep.
For him to do it, and I believe you, he's got the stuff to do it.
Yeah.
But if he's going after the Cy Young, you're going to lose something at the plate.
Maybe.
And you'll be fine with that.
Well, as long as the team is still the team, and as long as he's still a very good offensive player, and this is the thing with him, like, let's say it does bleed off 10 or 12% of his offense, he's still the best offensive player on the team.
Yeah.
So if sorry, I didn't mean to
No, it's no problem. Instead of hitting a team record 54, which he did in the first year, and then resetting the team record at 55, which he did last year, and I think we're thinking, well, maybe he can hit 56, 7, or 8. Maybe in a perfect scenario, he hits 60. Maybe he only hits 40.
right.
And
Right.
So maybe he only scores 100 runs instead of 130. He's still the best offensive player on your team. Does it come back a little bit? Yes.
Well,
if he hits 35 or 40 home runs, if he scores 100 runs, if he's doing normal, air quote, all-star level stuff, and he can devote more time to pitching?
From the leadoff spot. Just from the leadoff spot, and he drops back slightly. That's not gonna,
what is that numbers that you're talking about, though? Is it to what he's saying, where he's only hitting 40 home runs and only getting 100 RBIs and only scoring 100 runs and only stealing 10 bases, and he has a 310 on base?
That number, that player, that's the MVP of the league.
That's MVP, easy, no matter what. So if his on base percentage is still high.
Hold on, that's crazy.
He still has like a 950 OPS, and which is down from the 1080 that it was last year. You know what? I don't know if that's the exact number, but still
close enough.
Yeah, exactly. And he's still doing all that, but then he also goes 19-1 with a 1.9 ERA and a 1.0 WHIP and wins the Cy Young. You're like, okay,
I'm with you.
I'm fine with those those slight drop-offs in number, even if it's a big drop-off.
Everybody's human, though. And I did hear about how hard it was for him physically.
Yeah.
And what he goes through. And you're going to put more on that? Just saying.
It is more.
Why are we doing it? Because it's vanity.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Right.
But it's also really effing cool. You know what I mean? And it's some point.
It's just the one argument. This was way back, the radio argument of the decade, when Peyton Manning and the Colts had a chance to go undefeated.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Rest your guys going to the playoffs healthy. Well, you need to do it because I've never seen it before. That's the dumbest reason ever.
Okay,
I don't need
to see cool
Shohei
stuff.
to get the side. I would love to see it, but I don't need him to get it, and neither do you guys.
Does this help at all?
No, I want to see it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not being funny.
Right.
I want to see it.
You want to see it?
Yeah,
right.
because I don't think him trying to do that would sabotage their chances of winning a World Series.
I agree.
I just don't. Even if he comes back a little bit, if he were the only good player on their team, if he were or the absolute, we got to have him. If he were the Mike Trout of the Angels, right? If he doesn't have a good year, we're absolutely cooked. They're cooked no matter what. But to use this as an example, then, you got to be a little more judicious about how you're handling it. But they have so many good offensive players. The pitching rotation is so flush that you can try some stuff just because, look, I think part of the reason he's here is the Dodgers basically said, you want to try some stuff? Let's try some stuff. Let's see what you can do. Let's see how far we can push this. I don't think they're going to put him at risk.
No.
But I do think they might say, let's go for it and see what happens next. If he wants to do it, he's going to try to go do it.
So does it change your mind, DeMarco, at all? Because he said he's always thought of himself, we've talked about it before, he thinks of himself as a pitcher that is a really, really good hitter. He doesn't think of himself as a hitter. He was a pitcher starting off, and somebody finally told him, hey, you should probably hit too. You're really good at it. And then he became one of the best hitters in the history of baseball. Mm-hmm. So he thinks of himself as a pitcher. So getting that Cy Young, it feels like to me that he is trying, that's what he's always strived for. It wasn't the MVP. It was the World Series, but the pitching side of it, the Cy Young, that means a lot to him. That's something like, I'm showing you that I am a pitcher. I'm the great pitcher in the major
I already
leagues.
knew that. I mean,
but we didn't because he's never done it before.
It's not like they're not going to let him in the Hall of Fame because he doesn't have a Cy Young.
It is totally
you know what I mean?
him driven.
It's him. He's chasing
Yeah, I get it.
Whatever it is he's chasing.
And he's earned the right to do so.
Yeah. And look,
Yeah.
what's today? Today's March 3rd. If you said to me, do I think he's going to win the Cy Young on March 3rd? No, I don't.
Nope.
But if you said to me a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, I would have given him a 1 in 30 or 40 chance of winning the Cy Young.
Okay.
Today, 1 in 12.
Oh,
Right.
Like we're getting. I still don't think he will, but it's the fact. Like listening to these guys that Andrew Friedman answer wasn't. Listen, does he have the stuff to win a Cy Young? Yes, but the opportunity's not going to be there. The innings might not be there. The starts might not be there. The offense is going to wear him down. We're going to need to make sure that we protect him offensively. Then you'd be like, look, they're just placating him to have the conference. But then everybody's like, yeah, dude, I don't know.
This guy's going out and doing it.
It's like it feels like they're on board with him giving it a shot. I can't wait.
And remember what Andrew Friedman said on the Dan Le Batard show after each World Series win. He was like, "That's one. Now that's only 9 more. That's 2. Only 8 more." When he strives for certain things and he goes out and gets it. Remember when he was in Japan as a kid, he had a box, and when he had all each box led to a different box, and it said exactly what he was going to do, and he planned that all out. This is part of who he is and how he goes about things. He is very, very into where he's going to go. I hear something.
Yeah, you hear that?
I think
it's a whale.
I think it's one of the cameras.
It's a whale.
Someone's calling Carlo and
one ping only.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was it. What is going on?
I heard that too. I'm like, am I having a stroke?
Right.
I was like looking at my
Something
phone and
going
was
on?
it buzzing?
Yeah.
But this is how he works. He is very regimented in what he goes at. When he wants something, he goes after it, and he typically gets it.
He's listening on the app. You know this, right? So if you're listening, this is me saying this. Shohei, there's no way in the world you can do this.
Oh, that's so dumb to do.
I hope you use this as motivation. I think you're out of your
I think that's one of the things
mind.
that's so interesting about him is I don't think the motivation comes from anywhere but between his own
This
ears.
is true.
Yeah, no,
I think he's entirely
He's earned
self-motivated.
it. Do what you want to do. But he
it's
doesn't
funny.
need it. You know what I mean?
We can talk about this tomorrow or some other day because we touched on it a little bit earlier, but I'm starting to change my mind a little bit about what you asked a day or two ago. Or
What
maybe
did I
last week,
ask?
about what you mentioned a second ago, can the narrative push him over the top?
Oh, fudge the numbers a little bit. Okay.
Maybe more than I would have given thought to it. Like it felt like if Skeens is way ahead, no. If Yamamoto's
if
it's close though, the idea of, hey man, let's make sure that we check that box too.
Right.
Maybe. It still feels like it's a numbers-driven award.
If that's in play, I'm with you.
He has to be close, though.
Right.
It can't be like, look, he's number 4. It has to be he's 1A.
Or he had the lead and lost it at the end, something like that.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was fine with if he's just slightly behind, they'll push him over just because of this. I do think so.
Okay, see, he thinks they'll fudge.
But
Okay,
slightly is slightly.
Yeah, it has to be slightly, and it has to be like some numbers
Wouldn't
are
that
higher
kinda
than.
be-
You have to have a couple, like his
has
whip
that
is
ever
lower.
happened before with the Cy Young?
I'd have to think about it.
The guy, the B pitcher, actually won it because
I'd have
the
to
story
think
was
about
better.
it off the top
Okay.
of my head. And it's changing now too. Like it depends. For a long time, it was who has the most wins and a low ERA on a good team. Right?
That's not
That's
the case
not how
anymore.
it goes anymore. Like Skeens is on the worst team in the league other than the Rockies, and he was a no-brainer pick. I think he had 8 or 9 wins, something like that.
Yeah, it's more about ERA, whip like some of those numbers, like some of the advanced metrics a little bit, even though ERA is not
I
advanced.
don't remember
but-
too much outrage about a Cy Young. Like
No,
guys
not very often.
getting it or
Not very
guys that
often.
got it. Yeah.
And a lot of it's eye test.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you watch,
Like, oh, that dude was
you
the
like
best.
Skeens. It's like, dude, what the hell is that?
That's good.
Yeah, that's the best guy. And Otani passes the eye test.
Okay, fair enough.
So if I asked
that's
you-
in play, I'm with you. Okay.
If I asked you today, and then we can end on this, but if I asked you today, who's more likely to win the Cy Young on the Dodgers, Yamamoto or Shohei?
Yamamoto.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So he has to go through Skeens. He has to go through Yamamoto. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other guys that I'm just not thinking of right now.
Logan
But
Webb is
Logan
in
Webb,
there.
yeah, Logan Webb is a great pitcher.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good guys, but he's on the list. It's not like he'd have to have the year of his life. He just needs to stay healthy.
Right.
That's the part that's so crazy, and we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Be fun.
Knock on wood. It'll be fun.